Hello, my name is Makayla, and welcome to a new sort of video in which I want to talk about why we should all be emulating Rory Gilmore's study style. And if you don't know, she's part of the series Gilmore Girls, although I doubt you'd be watching this video if you haven't watched Gilmore Girls. Basically, there are 16 tips that I want to give on how you should be studying, which is kind of because of her particular study styles, the way that she approaches studying, and how she views her future ambitions and passions. All together combined, I think that just makes her kind of emblematic of the ideal study type. So with that in mind, I'm going to launch right into 16 ways that you can study more like Rory Gilmore. Number one thing to do is read beyond school. So whenever you see Rory, she's got a book with her. She brings it everywhere. She doesn't go somewhere without it because it's important to her. And I think that if you can foster a love for reading, I think that can really help you with enjoying what you're studying. It doesn't have to be something that's, a textbook on engineering. You can read a historical fiction that's set in the era that you're learning about in history class. Or you could read a science fiction book that deals with genetics if you're taking biology. There's different ways to incorporate your interests into what you're reading. And while you're having fun reading, you're also expanding your knowledge and breadth of understanding of your subject. Get your stuff done as soon as you get home on Fridays. So I think that a lot of people, when they approach the weekend, it's a time to kick back and relax and then save the homework for later on. One thing that I really admire about Rory, and I think she does very well, is getting her work done before Saturday night, as she says, so she can do all the extra credit stuff on Sunday. And of course, if you don't have extra credit stuff on Sunday, that leaves you to just be free on Sunday to do whatever you want. So getting it all done Friday is just a really good principle to have in mind to stay on top of your work and to get ahead. She also flips between different subjects. There's an episode where she has her different homework out right in front of her so that she can flip between 3 different subjects. So whenever she starts to lose focus with one, she can move on to the other. While of course this does kind of depend on your motivation style and whether it helps for you to just focus on one subject at a time or not, I think that this is something that can be useful. And there's definitely a fine line between multitasking and being able to switch topics, because multitasking itself is not a good idea because then your brain can't focus fully on one thing. It's been proven that trying to multitask is not going to get you anywhere. It's going to actually make work a lot harder for you. But I think that if you have everything out and ready to go, so if you do want to switch subjects, so you're not necessarily multitasking, but you're ready to switch subjects as soon as you need to, I think that's a good idea. Just make sure you're not actually trying to study 2 things simultaneously. Rory is also very good at adapting to new information. If when you are thrown into a new environment or get new information that you didn't have before and you kind of shut down, that's not going to help you progress with your goals. And the thing about Rory that's really neat is that she will take it as a challenge. So when she realized upon seeing Paris's ambitions that she wasn't doing enough to get into an Ivy League college while at Chilton, she, of course, she did panic reasonably, but she didn't take that as a reason to give up. She just saw it as a reason to try harder. And of course, there is a time when you can overdo it and hurt your mental health, but I think that the general principle of being able to take something as a challenge and not a reason to give up is a really good mindset to have when you're studying. She is always well prepared, and it shows. Every time that Rory gives a speech or something along those lines, you can tell that she's rehearsed it, she's well practiced, she knows what she's talking about, and she comes across as a very put together person. In regards to just schoolwork in general, not just studying, I think that this is crucial for your grades, how people view you, job prospects because of interviews later in the future. Everything kind of depends on whether or not you can articulate yourself. Get to class early. We see Rory at Yale when she is arriving to class early and just sitting in there, and there's no one else in there except for one other guy. As much as that's just kind of a funny passing scene, I think that it's also something that is, really critical to being prepared in class, because if you get there early, A, you don't have to worry about being late. B, you can ask the teacher any questions when they come in because you'll have more time. C, you can get out your notes, papers, everything to be ready to go. And D, if you're just sitting there doing nothing, it'll give you a reason to just get stuff done. Letting yourself be flexible. As someone who does not like spontaneous social events, anything that will have me deviate from my internal schedule that I've set out for myself, I think that this one's very difficult. Being flexible to adjust your schedule and, if necessary, to attend anything that's important or to foster relationships with people that you care about. This is just something that really contributes to your well-being, which in turn will contribute to your work ethic. I think that Rory's ability to be able to just make time for Friday night dinners and change her schedule when people need her is a sign that she's able to adapt to unexpected circumstances. So another one is don't let others influence you. And I think that this really shows with the whole drama with the student government in Paris and France, because Rory basically is as straightforward as possible, just tries to end the drama. Like, she's not trying to get herself involved. And another example is how she'll just eat lunch alone with her music in and reading a book. And I think that just having that sort of self-confidence, this ability to feel self-assured in what you're doing and not care about what others are doing or what they're trying to do, how they're trying to influence you, is really important for doing what's best for you, because otherwise you're going to find yourself doing a lot of things that you don't want to do, or you feel uncomfortable doing, or you're being pressured into doing. I guess what I'm saying is, don't let other people try to change how you choose to spend your time. Find friends that support you. This one again is a little bit less directly related to studying, but it has to do with your mental well-being and everything. And obviously Rory has Lane, and I think that seeing that friendship is symbolic of the impact that having these relationships and friendships can have just on your life. And obviously this goes hand in hand with the relationship Rory has with Lorelai. And so I guess what I'm saying is, it doesn't have to be family relationships, it doesn't have to be friendships. As long as you're able to forge with someone that kind of connection, that emotional connection, you'll have a much better way to kind of deal with these things that might come up while studying, because you have someone to lean on. Don't get pressured into doing something when you need to study. If you have friends telling you should go somewhere, or that you're being a stick in the mud, just tell them you can't. We see Rory do that throughout the show. She'll just tell someone, can't, I have to study, study, then I have a study break, and then I study. So seeing how she's able to just kind of stand up for herself and set forth what her boundaries are is so important to not getting used or exploited, getting roped into things that you can't say no to. Make sure studying is not a chore for you. Rory mentions at one point she's really excited because she gets to be graded for a discussion on a book. Like, that's just her idea of fun. So the fact that she's being graded on it is just great for her. And if you can find something like that where you feel like your studying is not actually studying and you're not working but you're having fun and enjoying yourself, there's nothing better than that. So try to do that if you can. Rory is also well-rounded. This is so important, not just for getting into college, but also just your resume in general and your job opportunities after college. You want to show you have some sort of leadership involvement in the world, that you're not just focusing on this one thing in your life. And Rory does that. She's part of student government, newspaper, and you see her at a lot of school functions, helping out with the community in Stars Hollow. So make sure you do that as well. Aside from a few rare moments in which she forgot the starting date of her first day of school, for the most part, Rory is organized. That's another thing that will really help you with studying, because then you can make a plan for studying. She's also good about sitting down and making studying something official. Now, if you're just like hanging out, relaxing, going back and forth on your phone while studying, you're not going to get much done. Rory shows us like the importance of finding a quiet place, sitting down, and actually studying for a good period of time and putting in the hard work for it. Although like that scene was a little bit weird where she wanted her study tree and tried to tell someone to move from her study tree, at least I thought that was very weird. The fact that she has a study tree in general is a good principle to have, like that you have this spot where you can get into the mental headspace to get your work done. And then lastly, participate. And the reason I say this is we see Rory engaging in debate in the classroom sometimes, even if it's to get back at a boy she thinks is spreading rumors about her. But the point is, she can communicate with others and expresses herself quite clearly in class. What's significant is that it's going to help your understanding of the material so much if you do engage with the class, because then you're forced to listen and hear what others are saying and to incorporate their perspectives into your own opinions. Forcing yourself to participate in class is going to dramatically change the way that you study and how easy studying is for you. Those were the 15 ways that you can study like Rory Gilmore and be more like her. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week.